second to none, yeah. This is how we get this done. You can check on the web, second to none.
The first thing in my series that I really wanted to discuss is abortion. Now, I disagree. I will say flat out, I disagree with abortion. There are a small number of instances where it is a moral dilemma, which those I can't say definitively one way or the other. I'd have to really give it some serious thought, and it would be a very difficult decision to make. Now, where I'm going to focus talking about, which is where I feel the most comfortable in my views, is the 95% of abortions that are discretionary. By discretionary, I mean they are for a variety of reasons. The mother doesn't like the father, she doesn't want to have children, it's financially inconvenient, things of that nature. Now, one of the common arguments made is that why would you want to bring a child into a home where they wouldn't be loved? Okay, that's all well and good, but the problem becomes you're not forcing the woman to keep the child. Just finish carrying it throughout its term. There is a thing called adoption. There are thousands upon thousands of people that are just desperately waiting to adopt a child. The waiting lists are years long. I mean, are you really saying that there are no loving families out there for these children? What about all the gay couples that aren't able to have children on their own? Last time I checked, you had to have a man and a woman to conceive a child. You can't do two women or two men just physically can't do it. It's the biology thing, which I don't have a problem with that. Let them adopt a child. There are many out there that would just want to be loved. Why is this such a big hurdle to get past? So the forcing them into an unloving home is a completely bogus argument, because adoption is a valuable option in this case, so that doesn't even matter. And that also covers all of the reasons why you wouldn't want to have it in the specific circumstances that I'm referring to, that I'm discussing in this video. The other thing to consider is people say, oh, it's the woman's right to choose. Well, I'm sorry, but the choice was made. You just don't want to live with the consequences. For example, just to take it to its logical end, say a man and a woman get together, and they conceive a child, they split up. The man isn't financially capable of taking care of the child, but the woman wants to keep it. Okay, fine, the woman will keep it, and then the courts will come after the man for child support. Is he able, in your view, should he then be able to say, well, it's my choice, it was my choice not to have the child, so I shouldn't be financially responsible for it because I can't afford it? No, I'm not saying that this is right, but the response that would be given would be, if you didn't want to take responsibility for having the child, you shouldn't have had sex. You should have kept it in your pants, would more likely be what they would hear. Now, why is it a man is expected that if he isn't willing to accept the responsibility, he has to control himself, but the woman shouldn't have to? You're basically making the argument that women don't have control of their sexual urges. You're basically saying all women are sluts. Now, I know this isn't true, and I think anybody that says this would never agree with saying it in such a way, but that is the argument you're making. Now, why should a man be held to a different level of responsibility than the woman? They shouldn't. Again, this comes back to equality. If you don't want the responsibility to take on the responsibility of a child, then don't put yourself in a situation where that could happen. That is where your choice is. You made your choice. Having the child is the consequence. You just want a way to get out of it. And I find it appalling. The vast majority of people that are for abortion are also against the death penalty. So you're saying it's okay to kill an unborn child, a human being still growing, but it's not okay to kill someone that has murdered many others, someone that has done very bad things against society as a whole. Why are they better than this unborn child that is completely innocent and has harmed no one? Also, on that little line, they decide, well, they're not a human because they are not viable, meaning they cannot survive on their own. What about all of the elderly people in nursing homes or hospitals around the country that are not capable of surviving on their own? Are they now no longer human? Are they now just a burden and we should go out and just kill them to make it more convenient on others? One of the things that people fail to do is follow their logic through, to place their reasoning to the test by putting it in different situations. Change the circumstances a little bit and the logic falls apart. The arguments fall apart. I mean, that being said, there's a lot that can really be said on the subject, and I could go on at length on all my issues with it. But one of the things to think about, and this is actually very common, there have been many studies on it, a large number of women that have had abortions do feel regret afterwards. They do feel the loss of a child. It's not widely publicized because it's not popular. Another thing to consider, you've seen the videos of my daughter on my channel. Now, having seen her, do you really mean to tell me that it's alright, it's acceptable to have ended that life just because it wouldn't have been convenient? I mean, do you really expect that that is okay to destroy that sweet, innocent little life? Because that's what you're doing. That's what you're destroying. You're not destroying some collection of cells. It's not. The argument has been placed to me that until the child is born, it's nothing but a collection of cells, like a cancer. I mean, you've seen her. Does that look like cancer to you? Does that look like some random collection of cells? It's one of the sweetest, most loving, caring creatures on the face of this planet. And that's what you want to destroy. That's what you want the right to destroy. I'm sorry, but it's wrong. And nothing that you could ever say is ever going to make it okay. You're simply wanting to snuff out a life because it's not convenient for you, because you don't want to take responsibility for your own actions. I'm sorry, but you need to take responsibility for your own actions. Don't victimize someone else just because it's more convenient that way. That's really all I've got to say on the subject. Comment sections are open. Post video responses if you want. I'm all ears. Look forward to seeing some comments on this one, because this is probably a pretty hot topic. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.
Can we do one?